This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons.
Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service, broadcasting live from the KFAB Penthouse Studio high above Underwood Avenue in beautiful downtown Dundee. Glad you joined us. You will not find another show in the metro area that talks about what we discuss, and that is the city getting bigger, more vibrant, more prosperous, healthier economy. We talk about cool construction projects, and at the end of the show, we'll give you a lot of good intel about new restaurants and retailers. Thank you to our sponsors, Dingman's Collision Center with 4 metro area locations, along with Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. And without any further ado, it's time to bring on my co-host, a man who is a legendary real estate deal maker and all-around entertaining fellow, Trenton Magid.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Jeff.
Well, good morning, Trenton, and we have some good news, and that is we have a Grow Omaha Eats restaurant review this week. Every other week, Chris Corey
does us proud.
He does, and you know, a lot of people say Chris has got the best job in the world. His job is to go taste food and write about it. And this week, he talks about Graylee's Ice Cream Parlor, which is in downtown Papillion.
Sounds so cool. I read the article, or at least part of it. I'll finish it, Chris. But it is a neat, historic building. 1870, was it?
It's old, and it's in the middle of downtown Papillion, and the ice cream is delicious. Now, here's the thing. If you read the review, when I've been to Graylee's before, I've only ordered the ice cream, and it was great. But if you read the review, they have these things called hand pies. They're kind of like, like a pie version of a runza, but maybe a little bit better. And maybe a lot better, no offense to runza. But anyway, like they would have these little hand pies, and one might be like the filling that would be in a chicken pot pie.
They don't call them American pies, do they?
One of them may have been a Reuben. And anyway, so those sound really good. If you want to try Graylee's, stop by downtown Papillion. If you want to read the review, stop by growomaha.com. When you get there, you will see reviews on the navigation bar. Hover over that and then go down to where it says Eats, and you can see Graylee's. You can see the one 2 weeks ago on Cattle Call Kathmandu Momo Station, and all of the reviews we've had since the beginning of time.
So it's really, you can get a complete meal at Graylee's.
You can, and probably, as good as the hand pies are, you're probably looking forward to the dessert.
Oh, yeah.
Now, while you're on Grow Omaha, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of other stuff there as well. We post news items every day, a lot of different features. We're constantly adding new features and attractions to that website. And I also want to mention something. I want to reiterate something I said last week in case you missed it. We have a very popular newsletter, which comes out every Thursday afternoon. We send it to 23,000 people via email. And that list is getting so big, and a lot of these inbound email systems have become stricter and stricter with outside email, especially that which is sent in bulk like ours is. So if you have signed up for it and are not getting it, couple things to keep in mind. You can put news@growomaha.com in your address book, make it a whitelisted approved sender email address. That can help a little bit.
News@growomaha.com.
Yeah, it's always from news@growomaha.com. If that doesn't work, we always have every edition of the newsletter on the Grow Omaha website. So you just go there, growomaha.com, click on newsletter. And then the nice thing is, not only do we have the most current one, we have every edition to back when we did our first newsletter 4.5 years ago or whenever it was. So anyway, I want to make sure people know that because we've had a lot of trouble. Like Cox.net has been really bad about blocking inbound email.
Cox blocker.
And then we've had a few Gmail, Yahoo, some of those big common ones. Those are the ones that have the biggest problems. But sometimes companies will block, bulk emails from outside of the company. So if you're not getting it, we got a few solutions for you.
Plus, you can see all of our news briefs. Every day there's new news briefs. We have 4 writers now in addition to Jeff. And people love that up-to-date information.
Absolutely. And with that, we're going to go into our news of the week. That's one of the reasons you tune in for Grow Omaha. We have a lot of growth and development news, and we're going to thank Eagle Mortgage for making it possible. They have been sponsoring us now for about 9 to 10 years. And we really appreciate Eagle Mortgage being loyal to Grow Omaha and to Grow Omaha listeners, making this possible for thousands of people every week on KFAB to get the news. And speaking of Eagle Mortgage, if you are in the market for a new house, either now or sometime in the next year or so, one of the first things you want to do is contact Holly Schneiderwind or one of her team members at Eagle Mortgage. The office is at 114th and Davenport. You can find them online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. Sit down with them, talk with them. They are not a bank. They're a mortgage broker, which means they can shop and comparison price a variety of banks to find the one that's best for you. And it doesn't matter whether you're going traditional loan or one of the specialty loans or VA, FHA, whatever. They'll help you with it. They'll do a great job. eaglemortgagecompany.com. Okay, Trenton, really cool project is coming before the city planning board. Multifamily apartment project and a hotel are planned for the southeast corner of 132nd and Pacific. Now, this development, as you know, is called Sterling Ridge.
Absolutely. Lockwood Development.
Lockwood Development has done an outstanding job making it. You can make an argument that when it comes to visual aesthetics, it's probably one of the, handful of best looking developments in Omaha.
And when you take 156 acres and make it a mixed use development and you spend about $2 million on landscaping with mature trees, that helps.
Yeah, it's a very, very attractive area. It's very pleasant, and it's famous for a few things. It is the home of LinkedIn's regional headquarters. They have the Tri-Faith campus there. A lot of cool restaurant retail. At any rate, if you can picture it, there was one part of it that has been yet to be developed, and it's the southeast corner of 132nd Pacific, which would be the northwest corner of the development. And so the plan calls for a 5-story, 145-room hotel that would be right on that hard corner. 5-story, 145-room hotel. City documents do not indicate the brand of the hotel. They might not even know, as far as we know. But then right behind that, or to the south of that, would be a 6-story building that would have 250 apartment units. Those 250 apartment units would be on 4 stories up top, and then the bottom would be 2 stories of indoor parking plus some street level retail space. Now that retail space would have 12,000 square feet for stores and shops and about 14,000 square feet for a restaurant.
The size of a Walgreens, ladies and gentlemen.
Big restaurant. Well, we have not heard official documentation that Ruth's Chris is going to be the restaurant. However, one of the attached documents to the proposal that was submitted to the planning board, public documents, shows a 13,543 square foot Ruth's Chris Steakhouse restaurant that would have enough seating for 380 diners. So it appears, if they put that on there, the likelihood that it is Ruth's Chris is very good.
Right.
And otherwise, it'd be kind of embarrassing for them to put that on there. The closest existing Ruth's Chris is in West Des Moines, Iowa. I've been to that one. It's new, very nice. Kansas City had one for a long time, but it closed several years ago. Other than that, there's Ruth's Chris's in Denver and Minneapolis.
Do you remember them that big, though, Jeff?
They are now. Like that newish one I went to in Des Moines, Iowa. I was there about a year ago, right when it opened. It's huge. It's huge. Now, I was in one a couple days ago out of state, and it was not so big. But at any rate, that's going to be a nice addition. This hotel and an apartment right there makes a lot of sense.
I think they need condos there as well.
That's, I think Omaha needs more condos in a lot of places.
And Lockwood's talked about it. It's really expensive to build condos and mixed-use developments like this when you're going vertical with different food groups, when you have retail, parking, office, retail. But what was interesting is, this site, I believe, had COVID never happened and people stayed in their offices, that probably would have been another office tenant like
I think it
LinkedIn.
Was slated to be a nice big Class A office building.
Yeah, but times change. But I think you need daytime and nighttime. If you want restaurants and you want 24/7, we've talked about that too much. Like probably where Village Point, there was always talk about doing condo towers, or there's other developments like Village Point that also did a lot of residential, not just hotels.
Village Point totally missed the opportunity to put apartments and condos above those stores. It would have been a home run. It was a blown opportunity that they didn't do that. But when they built Village Point, it was back in 2003, and people in Omaha weren't thinking that way like they are now.
Because if you have active living, and when Heartwood Preserve comes online, and when Lanahaw builds that whole complex there,
that area called the Row,
the Row, and think about it. There's no better place if you're 55 and over. Let's say, I guess 65 is the new 55 or something like that. If you're going to live and not want to drive, and you can go to restaurants, and you're active seniors, you want to be in an area where it's like an urban feel, but with a lot of landscaping.
Something I've been curious about with all of the momentum we have downtown. Speaking of, independent living, over 55 living, or whatever you want to call it. I've always wondered if something like that would be good in downtown, because a lot of people like that whole downtown lifestyle. What if they had a 55 and over thing where most of it was independent, but then there would maybe, as you got older, there could be assisted living or something
Continual
like that.
care.
Yeah, that I think they call it age in place, and I don't know if it makes sense to have memory care in a place like that, but might be too expensive. But an interesting thought. I've always thought, with all the momentum downtown, people might like that down there.
Well, I like 132nd and Pacific is great, but I also think like Village Point, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a condo tower around Village Point that you can walk to things, kind of by the Kent Stinson Park. To the west of that, I think there's some land.
Stinson Park, that's Exarban, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
Exarban Village.
Yeah.
Do that. And because that has so much mixed use there.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Well, continuing with the theme of big apartment buildings that are proposed, a developer plans to build multifamily buildings in Old Mill South. This would be at 10842 and 10826 Farnham Drive. Now, where is that? Picture the big Charles Schwab office building. And then it's 12 stories or so. Right to the east of that are two-story Charles Schwab buildings that are no longer occupied. And in between them is a 4-story, nearly 400-stall parking garage. Well, here's the plan. Tear down those two-story office buildings, keep the parking garage, and then on the side of each of those two-story office buildings would be 2 4-story apartment buildings. Altogether, it would have, let's see, I don't have a number of, oh, yep, I do. 327 apartment units total, mix of 1 to 3 bedroom, market rate. They would also have outdoor pickleball courts because, Trenton, as you like to say, you can't have anything without pickleball courts today.
I'm looking for a dentist with a pickleball court while I'm waiting.
Oh, I wouldn't go to a dentist without a pickleball. Oop, I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, your brother has.
My brother's a dentist, and he has no pickleball court at his office. But I'm sure that'll change.
Who's the developer on that one? Do you know?
I could find out and let you know next week.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
and I appreciate that assignment. But there's an example where there's not a lot of amenities around there.
No,
and where are you going to walk to? And you got great views of the interstate.
Yeah, see, that's interesting because the one that Lockwood's doing that would have a Ruth's Chris in it also has access to all that other retail that's boom right there walking.
Right.
Old Mill South. So even though this would be 4-story buildings, connected to an existing parking garage, a little bit of urbanity there, it would still definitely be a suburban lifestyle because you would have to have a car to get anywhere.
And I'm not knocking it, but it's almost like, well, office is soft, but we got this really cool parking garage. What can we do with a really cool parking garage? Oh, I know.
Well, but on the other hand, as we know,
we're pro-development here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, don't forget, data came out just about a month and a half ago that there are 13 tenants competing for every available rental unit in Omaha, Nebraska. You could make the argument we need to be putting apartments in a lot of places just to have places for people to live.
Understood.
Yeah. Well, with that, let's take our first break of the hour. That is your news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. When we come back, we're going to have More news of the week by Eagle Mortgage, because we have several other stories that we haven't got to. So we're just going to keep giving you more and more news as the show goes along. You're going to be so informed. Come 10 o'clock, you won't know what to do with yourself. But at any rate, we appreciate you being here. You're listening to Grow Omaha. It's brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
It's amazing how they took over in Stonegate the old gym, and now it's big apartments. It's kind of weird how they
the old 24-hour fitness?
Yeah.
I think that project is so cool. Because, it's like that was a rotting eyesore there for years.
Yes, it was.
And,
I live right by there.
Yeah, and you would think that it would have been just a lot easier just to bulldoze the whole thing and start over. But no, they found a way to...
Did they keep the pool or something?
I think that was the main... I think that was probably the main thing.
And what about the 24-hour fitness over in Uncut? They were going to do the same thing over there, but I don't know if it ever happened. I'm going to drive by there.
I was there not too long ago, and to me it just looked like a vacant building. But they're building all. Is it Ted Grace that's building all those apartments?
Yes.
Over there, yeah. Those apartments look good.
I need to go over there. Alltech, 144th, and what is that? F Street.
Those apartments over there look pretty.
Okay, so what's interesting is everybody's having all these projects starting with hotels, apartments. You don't see a lot of offices unless it's a specific user, industrial buildings and stuff. But nobody said that construction costs have gone down. No one has said that rates have gone down, and besides TIF and PACE and things like that,
an email pops up.
we're not slowing down.
No, and I think it's because of what I said earlier. Because if you look at we have some industrial slowed down a little bit compared to what it was a couple years ago. And if you look at the percentage of the big projects that we announce on Grow Omaha, what percentage of our multifamily? A lot.
Right.
And I think it all goes to, it's a supply and demand thing.
Just remember, like the vans.
We just don't have enough.
Remember, like 15 years ago, probably longer. Tom Vanna's dad sold 500 apartments for $40,000 a unit.
Yeah.
Which there's not a lot of brick on those, but think about. Like now, it's probably $150,000, $200,000 a unit.
Yeah.
2 or 3 bedroom.
That's hard to put your
And so
put your mind around
but,
that.
think about like the large developers in town.
Again, if they had
Broadmoor and Schlossberg and all these people that have these thousands and thousands of apartments that their basis is probably $50,000 a unit from back when.
And now they're worth $2 million a unit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're watching this.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Yeah, so.
But no, I just think it'll someday the day will come where the amount of apartments passes up the renter demand. But if it was 13-to-1, now that 13-to-1 also included rental houses, single family houses too. But nevertheless, rental units are rental units in a lot of ways.
Okay, riddle me this.
There was nothing.
I understand divorce and people grow up or whatever,
but
but
did not feel special.
our population grows less than a one.
Less than special.
There's a couple of things going on. I think there's been there's been an increase in population lately. Even though if you look at the last 2 official Census Bureau years, our local population growth was very underwhelming. A lot of that's based on national estimates. I think it's growing here.
Here we go, guys.
People are sneaking in.
Because otherwise, like you said, I mean, it's not like there's a shockingly higher number of people getting divorced.
Get time-saver traffic updates with
Never know. I haven't noticed it.
Steve Parker in the afternoon. This is Nebraska's News.
I haven't gotten divorced lately.
Station News Radio 1110.
American ham pies.
All right, after all that, it's time to come back to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Cheer Athletics and Dingman's Collision Center. Cheer Athletics, we like to call them the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. If you're not familiar with all-star cheer, it's a very athletic, competitive form of cheer. In fact, it's going to be an Olympic sport in the next Summer Olympics a few years from now. But this is a great way for your kid or grandkid to get involved, to get in shape, and to learn how to be a member of a team and to learn to compete and learn a lot of other life skills as well. Cheer Athletics Omaha is located in Papillion near Highways 50 and 370. And you can find out more at caomaha.com, CA as in Cheer Athletics, caomaha.com. All right, we've got more and more news items for you. Going to talk about, got some good news out of downtown Omaha for growth and development. The City Council this week approved tax increment financing for a combined $25 million of affordable housing projects. 2 affordable housing projects downtown. Both would involve the renovation of historic buildings. The group is led by Neeraj Agrawal of Clarity Development. The first building is at 1501 Howard Street. You might not even notice this. It's directly... It's kind of an underwhelming brick building. It's historic, of course. It's right west of the Central Police Headquarters. It's been vacant for a long time. And the plan is to put 16 apartments on the upper floors and street-level retail. And then the second building is just a few blocks to the west at 500 South 18th Street. It's called the Standard Oil Building. It's part of what we've been calling lately the Flatiron District, the neighborhood around the Flatiron Building. Anyway, this would be 40 apartments on the upper 5 floors and street level on retail on the ground floor. Not a huge number of units, especially with some of the urban core projects we've talked about lately, Trenton, but we desperately need more affordable housing in the core.
People on our Facebook page definitely talk about the need for affordable housing. There's a lot of people out there that think that all the apartments that are getting built are just way too high. But there are options for affordable housing, and taking these areas and making them more dense in population helps everything. With the streetcar going ahead, with the more retail, with all the entertainment options, with the park and everything, Omaha's stakeholders have done an amazing job, almost unlike any other city, to just really make downtown more vibrant. Ronnie Chang, a comedian, is at the Steel House tonight, which is cool. I'm going to go see the Steel House for the first time. Have you been there?
I've never set foot in the place yet, and I've been wanting to. I just haven't gotten around to it. But I like how you took us from affordable housing to comedians. That's pretty cool.
No problem.
Yeah, so you're going.
Yep.
All right, well, enjoy that show. Hey, a local company, or I should say an Omaha-based company that's all over the nation, Scooters Coffee, has teamed up with Hasbro, the toy and game company, and they have come up with Candyland coffee beverages. Remember the board game Candyland when you were a little kid? So they've got these beverages that are all branded with Candyland, kind of clever deal they've got going on there. I've got some other business news for you. The Omaha Airport Authority announced this week that Allegiant will offer seasonal nonstop service from Eppley Airfield to Sarasota, Florida. It'll start February 14th. Allegiant currently offers nonstop service from Eppley to Las Vegas, LAX, Orlando Sanford, Phoenix Mesa, and several cities in Florida. Now, if you count the destinations that Allegiant has to Florida, plus all of the other airlines that serve Florida, Omaha will, come February 14th, have nonstop service from Eppley to 9 different Florida cities.
Wow.
That's progress.
A lot of people are moving to Florida.
They are, and a lot of people vacation there
back
as well.
to the Candyland Scooters partnership.
Okay.
I have an idea for Stories Coffee because they've been growing lately, based here.
Love Stories Coffee.
They should do a collaboration with the Game of Life.
Why?
Do you remember that game where you'd spin the wheel? And I don't know how you would
tie it to stories.
Tie it to, but like all your different life events and things like that, and it's very family oriented. I haven't fully developed the concept yet.
Yeah, get back to us next week after you flesh that
one out. So we both
have
an assignment, apparently.
Yeah, flesh that one out a little bit because I think there's potential there. I like where you're going.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to the airport, shall we? Other airport news. Thanksgiving holiday weekend is one of the biggest travel periods of the year, as we know. And the Omaha Airport Authority this week said that it expects 185,800 travelers to go through the Eppley terminal during the next week. That's approximately 2.7% more than last year. So, Trenton, I like to play Stump the Trenton.
Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, we've got a handful of days on the Thanksgiving holiday. We've got Wednesday before. We've got Thanksgiving itself. We've got Black Friday. And we have Saturday after Thanksgiving, okay? And then we have Sunday. the Sunday when it's all said and done and you're kind of depressed because the Thanksgiving holiday's over and you got to go back to real life.
And listen to Christmas music.
I like Christmas music. Out of those 5 days, which one will be the busiest travel day at Epley this year? So out of the 5 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend, stump the Trenton, which one will be the number 1 busiest day?
I am going to say, and I don't know why, Thanksgiving Day itself.
Thanksgiving itself is not even in the top 3. I'll give you one more chance to get it right.
All right. We're not including Sunday, right?
No, Sunday's in there.
Okay. I will say Wednesday.
You should have guessed Sunday. Okay, number 1 is Sunday, December 1st. is supposed to be the busiest day. Tuesday, November 26th will be the second busiest day at Epley, and Wednesday, the day prior to Thanksgiving, number 3. And with that, it's time for us to take our...
up.
What's that?
I messed that up.
You came close. You were within 5. So with that, it's time for us to take our middle of the show break and get the news and a few other things. And then when we come back, we're going to have the Noddle Company's commercial real estate development spotlight for you and some more announcements to share with you. Like I say, we're full of news this week. You're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by Cheer Athletics and Dingman's Collision Center on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
When you walked out of the room is when I started laughing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to be discreet.
What were you laughing?
I know when he turned, because I was right with it, but then I saw him turn around and walk out.
Well, I had, you can get the uncontrollable giggles for something like that, and I didn't want to.
What did I say?
As soon as Chris turned around.
The
Banter.
The banter itself, yeah.
Jeff with his classic segue. So
Yeah.
that works.
And with that, flush that out and get back to us.
Yeah. Let's go back to the airport.
Let's go back to the airport.
You're gonna
Go from Candyland to the airport.
You're probably going to get a couple of nasty comments from the first segment.
About what I do. Huh?
Cox.
Oh, yeah. Cut your cocks off.
I
misheard
misheard
it.
it.
Said it. Cox blocker. I said Cox
I
blocker.
almost hit the dump button, but then I remembered.
No, what were you saying? You're like,
But then I remembered.
You're like,
yeah,
Cox.net
we're okay.
is one of the worst ones for our emails to go through.
yeah, because so I said Cox blocker.
Well, Cox is the cable company, so.
They're not
It's comments like that, Chris. It's comments like that keep me on the show. Like,
Barely. Yeah.
That's true.
You barely keep him on the show
Tell
because
you what, you almost gave me
Jeff
a
is
heart
really
attack.
professional,
One of
and
these-
you're really funny.
one of these days the FCC is going to have enough of them. And but I will say, knock on wood, neither one of us have said an F-bomb
21 years.
in 21 years on the
This
Grow
is the
Omaha.
closest I've seen someone come to hit the dump button.
That's because I was kind of just heard it, and then I heard Cox, and I was like, what?
I like my American hand pies better.
That was a good one. Yeah.
You know what we're talking about?
American Pie, the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
See if they do a sequel.
I've seen that movie.
It'd be American Hand Pie.
Stay away from hand pie.
A porn version.
Hey, hopefully the people that listen to Uncut have strong stomachs.
They get sued for third-degree burns with one of their American hand pies.
I'm not going to go there.
Sorry, folks.
I'm not going to go there.
We'll see who's listening to the show.
If you watch Uncut,
Uncut.
you do it at your own
Degenerate.
risk. You do it at your own risk.
Reminds me of a question or answer you have in the Cards Against Humanity.
Oh yeah. There are a lot of things
You
in
go
that
to the
game
game?
that you can't say on the radio.
I don't think it's,
You going to the game?
Yes, I am. I wasn't
What
going
time's
to.
the game?
2:30.
Bundle
I wasn't going to, and then I had free. My brother-in-law said we got free tickets, and they're like on the 35-yard line. I don't think anyone wants to go to the game anymore, and so I'm like, well, so and Jack activated last night. He very proud. He
Do you have a tattoo?
I haven't seen him yet, so. They do. There were 39 guys that initiated last night, and you're ranked by like your accomplishments, your leadership, your grades, and all that. So he signed in number 2 out of 39.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a high-ranking.
So wait,
Doesn't have Ted on
they
his
tell the
face, does
person
he?
that's number 39.
And last but not least, that's how you know. Like I know in my fraternity 100 years ago, we signed the scroll in like an.
Oh, they tell you where you can sign.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean the last guy's not like.
He's still in. Yeah.
He doesn't have a
Did they
name tag,
blackball
does he?
anybody at the last minute?
Well, they had
Dropouts.
They had 44 originally, and then 2 got kicked out, and then I think there were probably a couple that sometimes usually there's someone like the grades.
Just
aren't
like
there.
ruins their whole college experience, but
Well, some of them if they're closer there but the grades are not quite there, they can do it. They get another chance this spring semester.
Radio 1110.
I know we did that in my fraternity. Unfortunately, my fraternity we had a lot of guys that didn't.
you're like, all right, fog this mirror.
Well, you're not too far off. Yeah, in my fraternity, there are a lot of guys that didn't make grades and had to do it second semester.
Wait, you ever been convicted of a felony? Convicted? Nope.
You're still
It's
willing to pay the
37 in
house
Omaha,
bill?
Council Bluffs, and 38 in Lincoln. Grow Omaha will be back in about 3 minutes here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Everyone says they
You're lucky, mate.
He misfired. He was making.
My clock has broken.
He was going to make a moose call,
Oh, I didn't even hear him.
and his
So.
voice box failed.
Yeah,
Misfired.
misfire.
I don't even hear what
Yeah,
I'm
my
doing.
fraternity were like, "We're still willing to pay dues."
So Grayleys is really good.
Your families are watching?
No, I don't think they would subject.
Do they know you were
themselves to
reviewing
this.
it? Did they
I don't
tell
think
you
they
were
would care enough to
reviewing it
watch it.
Yeah, I'm sure
I
your
think
daughter
we could
would
always
watch
tell
it.
because we were taking
There
pictures.
there
you know,
would
we've got a-
there would probably literally
camera
be
and-
60 to
Yeah, we're always taking
70,000
pictures,
things
so
she would choose to do
A
different.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
Her dad on
What'd you think of 30
Yeah,
Hot?
I get you. All right, last spot, 30 seconds.
I think
please.
Okay, I'm gonna look up and see if I can.
There's some out for that, I think.
You gotta go there, Bruce.
Yeah,
For real.
have the actual experience.
Your
Yeah.
donation at the Gift of Life blood drive on December 23rd can bring a
I think the
patient
flavors were good, though.
comfort and hope. Gifts more meaningful than anything found in a store or online. Make an appointment today by visiting
All right,
redcross
10 seconds.
and use sponsor code Metro Holiday. There are 3 locations around the Omaha Council Bluff Metro at which to donate. Please join us on December 23rd.
This is Nebraska's news, weather, and traffic station. News Radio 1110 KFAB and KFAB.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals sitting next to Trenton Magid. We're in the KFAB studio, and we want to thank Cheer Athletics and Dingman's Collision Center for being our sponsors. Dingman's, I tell you what, we've had the chance to work with them for many, many years. Trenton has represented them on several real estate deals, and we've gotten to know the Dingman family and just realize what high-quality people they are. And they take that high quality mentality and attitude that they have, and they apply it to their work. And it doesn't matter whether you go to the 120th and Maple location, the 144th and Industrial, the Papillion location, or even Saddle Creek Road in Midtown. All 4 of them awesome, do a great job, and you'll be very pleased with the way they make your car good as new. Also, don't forget, they offer mechanical services as well. Well, we've got 2 items to report today on the Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight. This is where we look at news in one or more of the Noddle Company's development areas or projects. Now, Noddle is based here in Omaha. They do work nationwide, but they've got big-time famous developments in Omaha like Exarban Village, River's Edge, Builders District, North Downtown, Village Point West Medical Campus. They build office buildings, shopping centers, you name it. Noddle Companies does it. By the way, have you ever noticed Noddle Companies is really good at supporting local sporting teams and sporting events?
Oh, absolutely. They
That's
used to have maybe they still do. I've been going to Nebraska games in person, but down at Memorial Stadium, they had stuff everywhere.
Yeah, CHI Center, they're really good with a lot of the high school sports too. So appreciate Noddle Companies. At any rate, the Noddle Companies developments that we're going to highlight today, number 1 is Exarban Village. And you know what Exarban Village is. It's one of the coolest places in town. Well, the news there is a new restaurant in the Inner Rail Food Hall. It is called Romance Barbecue. It's a Texas-style barbecue concept. Like I said, opened in the Inner Rail Food Hall. That's the real cool eating area right east of the HDR World headquarters in Exarban Village. The menu features house-made offerings like smoked brisket, glizzy sandwiches, kimchi, and by the pound barbecue selection. So we got to go try this place sometime for lunch.
Yeah, and Sam Noddle did a great job with the area outside with heaters and covers and everything else at this time of year.
All right, and then for the rest of our Noddle Company's commercial real estate development spot out of the week, we go east to Council Bluffs, the River's Edge development. That's that real estate development on the eastern foot of the Bob Carey pedestrian bridge. And there's been a lot of activity lately there. We talked last week about the Mid-American Adventure Tower going up. Well, it hasn't really gone vertical yet. They're still doing ground and foundation work with it. And we've also talked about some apartment buildings that Broadmoor is doing there. Well, Broadmoor is going to keep going. The Council Bluffs City Council this week accepted a proposal from Broadmoor for River's Edge Block 1. This is a 1.7-acre parcel located to the east of the big public pavilion they have there. It's been vacant for a while, and frankly, it's been a little bit frustrating, I think, for the developers in the city. The city of Council Bluffs had the lot, and they wanted something big there. Maybe it's not going to be quite as big as what they initially envisioned, but still a very cool, very sizable project. Broadmoor plans about a $25 million 91-unit, 5-story apartment building. Plus, it would have 2 levels of indoor parking, one of which would be down underground. But Broadmoor, like I said, has other stuff there. In fact, if you put all of the apartment units together at River's Edge, Broadmoor has 229 units there completed and 48 currently under construction. So now they're going to be adding another 91.
A lot of construction going on in Council Bluffs now, a lot of projects, a lot of multifamily.
Yeah, in fact, that's a really good segue, Trenton, because now that we have gotten through the Noddle Company's commercial real estate development spotlight of the week, I've got 2 more Council Bluffs development stories.
I was teasing when I said I hadn't read the letter this week.
God bless you. Okay. The first one is 3000 2nd Avenue in Council Bluffs, Lockwood Development of Omaha. We talked about them earlier with 132nd and Pacific. But Lockwood is slated to transform a 6.45-acre site on the northeast corner of 30th Street and 2nd Ave in the Bluffs. The City Council accepted Lockwood's $58 million proposal. It was one of 2 submitted in response to an RFP. Here's the deal. 264-unit apartment complex. They are... It's looking pretty impressive. A big mix of apartment sizes and styles, and then 4 traditional 4-story apartment buildings would be built to the north and south of the First Avenue Trail. So a lot of cool stuff going there, and the whole entire project is supposed to be complete right about 3 years from now.
Yeah, it's walking distance to Dairy Queen.
Thanks for putting that in. A form of perspective that a lot of our listeners can listen to, including me.
Thank you.
Okay, also in Council Bluffs, really close by, 2800 2nd Avenue, Hoppy Development out of Lincoln is going to develop land northwest of 2nd Ave and South 28th Street, right along this First Avenue Trail. That's where they eventually hope to put the streetcar in Council Bluffs. At any rate, $17 million project. Proposal aims to build 89 apartment units. There would be even some live-work units in there. And that looks like a really cool project right there. And that would be completed April of 2027. So about 2.5 years.
Congratulations, Council Bluffs.
A lot of activity going on in that area. Well, let's go clear on the other side of the metro area to 144th and Cape Hart Road.
Wow.
Sarpy County. Facebook continues to get bigger.
Wow.
Yep. You heard it right here. When they first started a few years ago, they built a massive data center complex on the northwest corner of Highway 50 or 144th Street and Cape Hart Road. Got that done. Then they completed one on the northeast corner. Huge complex. That wasn't enough. Then they went south of Cape Hart Road, which took them from Papillion jurisdiction to
Sarpy County.
In Springfield, yeah. So then they built a big complex southwest corner. Now the latest huge building, south of that. So even closer to Fairview.
Do we know how
Road.
big or how much?
Big. Big would be my answer to that question.
Lots of blade servers. And
Big.
that's still the technology.
Bigger than you can imagine. All right, with that, we're going to take our final break of the hour. And when we come back, it will be your Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round. I'm looking at the list, and there are a lot of things on it. We've got new restaurants, new retail, got a lot of new coffee shops. We're going to talk about Wiener Schnitzel and burgers and pizza joints and all sorts of stuff. So stay with us. It's your Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round coming up. You're listening to Jeff Beals and Trenton Maggot on Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics, right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
For some of the country's greatest hits.
Sorry for my cough.
Oh, I thought maybe we had said something silly. You were laughing again, so I had to look and see
Do
if
you
you were
mind?
laughing.
Do you mind if we dance to your dates? Do you mind if I give a plug? I just lowered the price of 4 Jimmy John's locations.
Alrighty. When should we? Let's see. Let's do.
I'll be quick about it.
We're going to mention this project that Perkins Kreitzer completed.
5:30 in the morning.
This, and this, and then we're going to do Jimmy John's before we get to the stuff that was on the newsletter. Okay. So I will say, after all this, Jimmy John's.
I think people just want to see Jeff and I. It's just disruptive when we have foreign guests on.
Foreign guest.
Not a foreign, like, everybody's a foreign guest to the show. Like, you know, we're the
You're
original.
not like saying like people that don't live in this country.
Right.
Disparagingly referring to them as foreign.
Foreign to the studio.
People who aren't normally a part of the show.
People that are foreign to Grow Omaha.
We started a gang.
Call them guests.
Brad would be in it. Chris would be in it.
You and I.
Bill says they call them guests here.
Oh, the guest.
Is Bill going to be in the gang?
Bill, you mean the gang?
Sure, I'll be in the game.
He has to get a neck tattoo first, though.
You got to be beat in.
You gotta call me Neck Tat though every time I come by.
You got a that tattoo?
Do I know?
Not yet. After he's in the gang, he will.
Oh yeah.
But if I have to join the gang, I have to get one, right? Because I got to prove that I'm a tough guy.
Neck tat.
Yeah,
Tat.
it's like back when I was a kid, you know, where you're like called Ice Tray or Ice Skillet or something. Now Neck Tat's got to be the thing.
Neck tat.
Yeah.
Neck Tat. Yeah.
I wouldn't want
With a T,
to.
as
I
in
wouldn't want to do the
T-A-T,
initiation,
like
so
you're
I
tatted.
would just be of counsel, like at a law firm. Like you're there, but you're not.
I would love that job.
Here we go.
Oh, are we going?
We're going.
Short break.
Thank you, Gary Saddlemeyer. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things in a very short period of time. Thank you to Perkins Kreitzer Construction. They are the ones that make this possible. Now, we have told you they are a Class A general contractor. If you've got a building in mind, yes, they can build it, and yes, they'll do a great job with it, and yes, you'll love it. But we like to talk about some of the cool restaurant and retail businesses that they build out. And just yesterday, Ziggy's Coffee opened its very first Omaha locations. It was constructed by Perkins Kreitzer Construction. So it opened yesterday. The actual address is 5102 South 201st Street. So basically 201st and Q. 865 square foot, pretty much drive-through building. Now, Ziggy's is based in Denver. They have 101 locations in 20 states, including previously existing ones in Lincoln and Fairbury, Nebraska. So that's an example of what Perkins Kreitzer Construction does for us. They bring us cool businesses and cool restaurants. But for you, Grow Omaha listeners who make decisions for businesses, if you need to build something, just go to p-cconstruction.com. That's p-cconstruction.com. All right. A lot of people have been asking, when is Wiener Schnitzel going to open? It's the California-based hot dog chain, very popular. Not a lot of locations outside of the West Coast, so Omaha will be one of the earlier cities to get it. They're going to the MH Landing development, which is northeast of 72nd and Grover. And they're going to be sharing a building with Salty Dog. Now, certificate of occupancy was expected to be granted for Salty Dog yesterday, and they're opening in December. Then the other part of the building is Wiener Schnitzel. It'll have a drive-through. I just poked my head. Actually, I didn't. I looked through the window yesterday because it was locked, and they were still doing a lot of interior build-out. But I'm told by the landlord that it's possible Wiener Schnitzel could open by the end of December. So not much further to wait.
Nice.
And I say that because we are buried with emails from Grow Omaha listeners and subscribers. When's Wiener Schnitzel? Everyone's excited about this Wiener Schnitzel.
So are you saying that I should or should not get all the hot dogs for my annual New Year's Eve hot dog eating contest at Wiener Schnitzel, or should I go with a safer bet?
Well, if you have to order in advance, you might want a safer bet. But if you can wait till late December to order, then wait for Wiener Schnitzel.
We know they'll be fresh.
Let's talk about burgers. Charred Burger and Bar is going to open in the former Meatball space at 180th and Dodge. Trenton, there were two Meatball locations, the original Blackstone, 180th and Dodge. 180th and Dodge is going to be yet another Charred Burger and Bar location.
Yeah, that's fast because they just opened at Southport West.
Yeah.
And
they have a location in Lincoln now, too.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, South Lincoln.
It's a good product. They got a good hamburger salad, which is interesting.
Hope they're not expanding
and
too
I didn't
fast.
even, I'd been over there and I must not have turned my head to the right, but the fact that Panda Express just opened out on the other side
just
of
this
that
week.
shopping center right in front of Cabela's.
I believe it was Thursday was their grand opening.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on in that area. Gambino's Pizza appears to be going into the former Lo Sole Mio banquet hall at 3020 South 32nd Ave. So the old Lo Sole Mio was on the east side of the street. The banquet hall was on the west side of the street. More recently, it was Ellie's Chinchorro, which is a Puerto Rican restaurant. Ellie's moved to North Downtown.
And it's good.
It is, yeah. So Gambino's going in there. Gambino's has 44 locations in Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Oklahoma. They have Nebraska locations in Fremont, Kearney, and North Bend. So they've got this one coming to 32nd Avenue. They also have one that's getting close to opening in Gretna as well. Trenton, some people might want to own their own Jimmy John's building.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've got almost a lifelong client that is very active, Mitchell Brands, and they have given me the honor of representing them in the sale and disposition of 10 pieces of real estate that they go from about $300,000 to about $1.7 million, $1.8 million. And what's cool about these is they're what you call absolute triple net. So if there's business people, just people with money, if you want basically a no nonsense investment, mailbox money, where you don't have to have a property manager, I've got some great locations left. And what you get is some of them you get the building and the land together. It's called fee simple. Good returns. We just lowered the price on 4 of them. And if you're out there and you want information on these investments, you get paid throughout the year, and they are great buildings because Jimmy John's will be there for a long time. And these are new 10-year leases. But if they ever should leave, it's a drive-through building, good locations. It can be a Starbucks. It can be a lot of different restaurants. And so give Trenton Maggot a call at NAI-NP Dodge.
All right, and with that, we've got more restaurant and retail news for you. Church's Texas Chicken plans to open a second Metro location at 2310 North 90th Street. This is where a former Godfather's Pizza was located. Well, they tore that Godfather's Pizza down, and when Church's starts building, it'll be a 1,700 square foot freestanding building with a drive-through. Church's currently operates at 168th and Maple area. Shoot, we're out of time, so we'll save the rest for next week. I hope everyone has a great week. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Maggot.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Perkins Kreitzer Construction, along with Cheer Athletics and Dingman's Collision Center. We'll chat with you next week at 9 o'clock right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB. I thought we had more time than that.
So that was 30 seconds to music when you did that?
Well, I got you at the. I did a minute.
Okay, I
didn't
see
know.
it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so that's 30? Okay.
Yeah, this is 30 halfway.
Okay.
So.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.